One thing that we knew for sure was that Baylor would be a 1 seed, and better yet, we knew that it would probably be the #1 overall seed. And Kim Mulkey, Coach Landers already mentioned it. She's one of the greatest competitors that has ever played the game, and now she's got her team competing at one of the highest levels that we've ever seen. Apparently, I'm being told she's got her handfuls too, so maybe Cannon is with her, grandson, in your hands, Kim? Oh, and he's not happy.
How about that? Yeah, he's chewing on my thumb.
That might be the toughest thing you have to deal with today. The celebration continues for you, though, Coach. Congratulations on the #1 overall seed. When you saw the bracket release, what was your initial reaction?
Well, actually, we were at practice, and when practice was over, someone sent me a text and said, uh-oh, I think someone messed up and revealed the bracket. So they started sending me little bits and pieces, and by then was driving home. So when I got home, I had a chance to look at the entire bracket.
Coach, it seems like time after time this season, when your team has needed to, it's stepped up and played the way it's needed to play. What is it about this team that will be different that you think will not only help you get to a Final Four, but ultimately for you, maybe win a national championship?
Rebecca, I think it starts with your seniors. Chloe Jackson, who transferred to us this year, and then it starts with Kalani Brown, who's never been to a Final Four. And then from there, it goes to your players like Lauren Cox and people who just are good basketball players. And you can't forget about everybody else. We have a defensive stopper in Dee Dee Richards. The list goes on. Juicy hits a 3. I think we have a little bit of everything to help our bigs inside.
Kim, Chloe Jackson, you mentioned a moment ago that she transferred in. What has that process been like for you and for her? Because, you know, she's playing the point position. She's your primary ball handler. How have you been able to get her to do the kinds of things that this Baylor team needs?
Coach Landers, you know, this transfer stuff is I mean, we're in the transfer business now, and I hate to say it, but we are. And Chloe Jackson came here and basically was a 2-player, and I asked her, could she play the point guard position? Little did I know at the time that I would have to move her there full time, and she's been phenomenal. Her intelligence, her understanding, her allowing me to throw a lot of things at her quickly. But the one thing Chloe has in her favor is experience. She played in the SEC. She just has that college experience, and she doesn't get rattled.
Coach, I'm curious about the prestige of being the #1 overall seed. Is that something you think about? Is it important to a program? Is it something you use out when you're recruiting? How important is it to Baylor to be the #1 overall seed this year?
Well, I think it's always important to be relevant first, and secondly, to maintain a level of relevancy. And I think this program has done it year in and year out. And I think players, the great players, want to go where they can be in an elite program. And at Baylor, we're relevant. At Baylor, we have great fans. And the education speaks for itself. I don't ever have to go in a recruit's home and talk about a degree from Baylor University.
Well, Coach, we thank you so much for joining us, and I have to say that was an amazing execution of the grandson pass back. It was so smooth. I've never seen anything like it.
It's called teamwork. It's called teamwork. I just pass him back, and the next one takes over.
That's all right, Coach. Enjoy the rest of the night. That's Kim Mulkey, the head coach of the Baylor Lady Bears. They are the #1 overall seed this season. Let's talk about Chicago.